Neuroscience is fundamentally a tape measure. It provides us with the precise, undeniable measurements of the human brain. It maps the neural pathways, it records the frequencies, and it defines the structures of our consciousness. But knowing the exact measurements of your waist does not give you a suit of clothes. Science gives us the data, but it actively avoids telling us what to build with it. It keeps the knowledge at bay, safely locked in the realm of observation rather than application. Today, we are going to take the tape measure of modern neuroscience, combine it with the esoteric mechanics of reality creation, and use a very specific, ancient tool to put the clothes on the data. Right now, the understanding of how to actively shape human reality is fractured across three entirely separate communities that refuse to speak to one another. First, you have the manifestation and law of assumption communities. They possess the structural blueprint, the understanding that consciousness creates reality and that the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key to altering your timeline. But their methods are dogmatic. They are rigidly stuck in the 1940s, telling you to repetitively loop a 5-second scene in your imagination to brute force your desires into the subconscious. Second, you have the Psychonaut community. They hold the chemical key to unlocking the mind, but they treat the tool either as a recreational escape or a chaotic spiritual roller coaster. They are obsessed with the heroic dose, taking massive amounts of psilocybin to experience total ego death, meet entities, or break the simulation. They blow the doors off the house, but they have no architectural plan for what to build once they are inside. And finally, you have the clinical neuroscientists who look at both of these groups, measure the brainwaves, identify the exact mechanism of why it is happening, and then file the paperwork away. We are going to stand at the absolute center of these three worlds. To understand how to master the code of your reality, you first have to understand the bouncer standing at the door of your conscious mind. Neuroscience calls this the default mode network. This network is the neurological system responsible for your ego, your rigid sense of time, and the filtering of your everyday physical environment. It is the bouncer that keeps you anchored in the three-dimensional world. When you try to sit quietly and imagine a radically different, successful future, it is the default mode network that immediately interrupts you. It provides the logical friction. It tells you that you cannot afford it, that the walls around you don't match your vision, and that you are wasting your time. The traditional manifestation technique of looping a short scene over and over again is simply a way to exhaust this bouncer. You tire the analytical mind out until it looks the other way, allowing a tiny fragment of new reality to slip into your subconscious. But there is a chemical override. Psilocybin, when used not as a drug, but as a highly precise mechanical tool, directly downregulates the default mode network. It sends the bouncer home. However, before we discuss how to use this tool to write new code, there is a massive, unavoidable caveat that the internet often ignores. This is not a shortcut for the uninitiated. When you shut down the default mode network, you are not just opening the door to your highest desires, you are opening the door to your basement. The bouncer does not just keep the physical 3D world out, he also keeps your unresolved trauma, your shadow, and your unhealed psychological debris locked securely inside. If you have never done the inner work, if you have been avoiding your shadow, and you take a dose of psilocybin thinking you can simply sit back and manifest $1 million, you are going to be entirely overwhelmed. You will try to press play on the movie of your wish fulfilled, and your own mind will violently interrupt you with every piece of dark, unresolved trauma you have ever buried. The compound is an amplifier. It forces you to clear the pipeline before it allows you to write the code. For years, I have done that shadow work. I have faced the darkness, cleared the psychological debris, and done the heavy lifting that this level of reality creation demands. If you have done the same, if your internal pipeline is clear, then the nature of this tool changes completely. It stops being a chaotic mirror, and it becomes a high-precision stylus for your subconscious hard drive. When you are experienced, you do not need a heroic dose to bend reality. A heroic dose shatters the ego entirely, which means there is no you left to hold the intention. Instead, you use a precise subperceptual threshold, around 0.7 grams. This is exactly enough to bypass the default mode network, put the physical body to sleep, and remove all logical friction, while leaving your conscious awareness razor sharp and fully in control. This is where the magic of the wish fulfilled actually happens. With the bouncer completely out of the way and the shadow integrated, you do not need to fight your own mind. You do not need to use the old methods of looping a 5-second scene until you are exhausted. Because there is no neurological friction, you have the raw bandwidth to let your imagination fully expand. You can lay down, close your eyes, and drop directly into the end state. You can press play on an entire feature film of your newly chosen reality. You can live inside that sequence for nearly an hour, feeling every tactile sensation, experiencing the absolute emotional peak of the event and letting it play out completely uninterrupted. Your subconscious mind does not run on visual fidelity. It runs on emotional resonance. By streaming an unbroken hour-long experience of absolute success, safety, and fulfillment, you are not just daydreaming. You are installing a literal historical memory directly into your biological hardware. You are writing absolute, undeniable code. When the compound begins to fade and the default mode network comes back online, something profound happens. You do not wake up hoping your manifestation worked. The desperate, euphoric need for it to happen is completely dead. Instead, you wake up with the quiet, stoic, undeniable knowing that the event has already occurred. Your nervous system recognizes it as a memory. It is a mathematical certainty. You have successfully programmed Framework 2, the inner realm of pure code. Now, all that remains is the physical lag. You exist in Framework 1, the dense, three-dimensional reality. Framework 1 is simply a slow-moving rendering engine. It takes time for the physical pixels of the world to rearrange themselves to match the massive software update you just installed. During this render time, your only job is to not interfere. You do not check the 3D world for proof. You do not panic when the walls haven't changed yet. You hold a state of detached curiosity. You look at your life and you simply think, I wonder when this is going to play out. You watch the old reality play out its final credits, knowing completely that a bridge of incidents is forming around you, disguised as ordinary, mundane, daily events. You wait for the render to complete. And when the physical world finally catches up and delivers the reality you wrote, it will not feel like a shock. It will feel exactly like deja vu. Science gave us the tape measure. Now it is time to build the reality. If you like this video, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like and share this content as it helped the algorithm so more people can get this information, as it definitely needed. Until next time.